Welcome, everybody. It's time for deep diving. This is Realizing Reality, and we help people waking up. So, I'm going to show you practical tools towards really being able to let go of what doesn't serve you and become the best version of yourself, and to feel good almost all of the time. Let's just talk about it because I'm going to share with you what helped me in my journey. Understand that I'm going to be using it under the basis of the scale you may have seen this before. That's from the book called Power versus Force by David Hawkins. And it's understanding that there are different levels of vibrational states of being. Now, under these levels, you will notice that at the bottom you have emotions such as shame, such as guilt, such as anger, and that's eventually you move into neutrality willingness. Above that, you have acceptance, love, then joy, peace, all the way up to the enlightenment. So, years ago, I started meditating. I'm not saying I'm enlightened. I started to learn all this stuff. Before I did that, I was mainly engrossed in these bottom emotional states of being. I was mainly feeling guilt. I was feeling angry for my childhood. And some of the things that I went through, I was having attachments to perspectives that just weren't serving me. But this is what I realized when I started to meditate. There was something that happened to me. I became very aware of my thoughts. Now, our thoughts are always going to be from certain perspectives, and there is going to be certain momentum from our thoughts. So I had a lot of thoughts that were in momentums, perpetual loops of feeling anger about certain things, feeling shame or guilt for things you could have done, but I didn't do, and those would be self-perpetual. But the moment I started to meditate, I started to observe my thoughts, and this is the difference between observing thoughts to controlling the major game changer for me. The major game changer for me was that when it came to raising my vibration, was when I was able to observe my thoughts rather than react, because the first 2 or 3 days I started meditating. I was so focused on trying to control my thoughts. I learned about the secret, and I knew the idea of our thoughts were creating our experience, so I became like this person that was trying to control. And if I had a thought, I would try to get it out of my mind, and I would resist it. The game changer was when I let the thoughts be there and I observed them from a neutral place. I wouldn't label them as good or bad. They just simply were. That was the game changer. Now, let's look at where that is on the scale if you go down to willingness. What you realize? You'll have a willingness, and then under that's neutrality. Neutrality is where all the power is, because as you are able to observe your thoughts, it takes the charge of these lower emotions out of the equation. Now, the best and the most powerful way to do this is through the medium of forgiveness. Forgive anybody that's ever done anything wrong to you. Forgive yourself for any situation you may have put yourself in. And as you simply let things be, as you forgive, you neutralize. That's where all the power is, and letting go of all these perspectives that no longer serve, and all these lower emotional states of being. Because remember, these emotional states of being are on loops. they are going to continue to perpetuate themselves. And as we fall back into the habitual hypnotic thoughts that we have, because as scientists show, most of what we think is on repetition. We keep falling back and falling back into the realm of thinking. But the key is to become aware of the way we think and able to neutralize it. So realize that neutrality is one of the most powerful ways to let go of all the negative perspectives, and the most powerful way to do that is through forgive. Now this comes from understanding that perspectives come from attachment to memories, attachment to stories. I'm going to explain with this as the most powerful way to raise your vibration is to simply change your environment. Now people many times will hold us into similar frames. They'll hold us into a similar expectancy of how they expect you to act. And if you maybe have been negative before in the past, they may expect you to be negative. Or if they are negative and you don't feed into their negativity and agree with their story, and they are complaining, then they are gonna treat you a certain way. And what you need to realize is you may need to change some of your environment. Now this means you may need to get away from certain people that brings you down, that are very negative. This means you may need to get into a completely different environment as far as where you are in your day-to-day life. Maybe certain things are priming you to feel a certain way. If your room makes you feel a certain way, and you look and things are always reminding you of the past, then that will create more of those feelings. Now, of course, you could reduce and release the attachment to the stories. You could simply decide to let them go. You could neutralize them. But what you could also do is to get into a new environment. That's what I did. I learned how to meditate. I learned how to expand my horizons for where I am. That allowed me to feel good a majority of the time. I used to feel those lowering emotions a lot. Not saying that I never feel them at all anymore. What I'm saying is I feel good a majority of the time. And I believe the reason that is because I have let go of these lower emotions, and I have started to accept, allows surrender to the moment when you let go of all this baggage. What then happens is you allow yourself to become present to the moment, which is where all the power really is. So from that point going forward, you can focus on gratitude. Once you let go of all these things, you could focus on things you are grateful for. And this is going to be the game changer for you. This is something I'm just now learning about. This is something that can really change everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video. If you liked it, subscribe. Also hit that little notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload a video. Peace.